In the earlier session, we were discussing project, file new project. I'm taking a console application. Let's create a folder, May 2017. Here I would like to create a folder, demos. Oh, date. So I'm taking a console demo 2 here. You know how to take a project, right? File, new project, language is C#, application is console application, and location can be your desired location where you want to save the project, and name is console demo 2. Let's say okay. Yeah, we were discussing this example, right? Int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, int c is equal to a plus b, sum. This was the demo we were discussing. Fine. Is this the demo?
Yeah.
But my intention was I want to find out the sum of the two values by accepting the input from the user. Instead of giving the values statically, I want the values to be dynamic. So shall we write the code for that? I'm asking the user to enter a value. Enter a value. And entered value a is has to be captured with console dot readline. Readline, please listen carefully. Readline is a method of console class which will reads the next line of the character also. Okay, so let's see. I'm zooming in. Can you see? Readline is a method which accepts reads the next line of the character from the standard input string. But the readline is a method which is having a return type as string. Readline is a method which is having a return type as string. But on the left hand side, I want an integer value. So in order to get an integer value, it is accepting a string, but we want an integer type on the left hand side. So let us go for the theoretical. Data types are broadly classified into two types. First one is value type, a type whose memory is allocated on the stack. A type whose memory is allocated is on stack is called a value type. Example: byte, int, float, char, these are all value types. And what is a reference type? A type whose memory is allocated on the heap and the address of the memory location is stored on the stack. Address of the memory location is stored on the stack. So, example: object, string. So here it was accepting the console.readline method was accepting everything entered to it as a string, and we had to convert to integer. Okay, so conversion of reference type to value type has to happen, right? Conversion of value type to reference type is called as voxing. Example: int to string. Conversion of reference type to value type is called as unboxing. Example: string to int. Conversion of value type to value type or reference type to reference type is called as conversion of value type to value type or reference type to reference type is called as typecast. Conversion of smaller data type to large is called as widening. Example: byte to int. Conversion of larger data type to small is called narrowing. Example: int to byte. But large data may not fit into small data type, due to which there may be a loss of data. So let's make a note. While narrowing, be cautious, as large data may not fit into small data type, due to which there may be a loss. Okay. So this is all about the type conversion. You can save it. So let us now convert this. Convert the reference type to value type, which is called as unboxing, right? So let us convert it. For converting, we have a convert class. Convert dot 2 in 32 of console dot readline. Similarly, I'm asking the user to enter b value and enter b value I would like to capture into b is equal to convert dot 2 in 32 of console dot readline. Then int c is equal to a plus b. Then I would like to display sum. Yes. So shall we run and see now? You have been asked with entering a value. I am entering the value. Then entering b value. Can you see? So this way we can perform addition of two values dynamically for the user inputted values. Getting? Any doubts in this demo?
No.
Shall we go ahead with the control statements?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's go for file new. No, in this, okay, let's go for file new project. Control statements demo. Coming to the control
I'm hearing some
statements
noise.
from me.
I don't know.
It might be fan sound.
Oh,
It's too
no, it's
noisy.
good. No, it is good.
No, it is good. Okay. Like if you face like issues, let me know. Try to look into the issue. Coming to the control statements, I will be discussing if else, switch, while, do while, for, for each. Okay. So we'll discuss the if first. I want to find out biggest of three numbers. What I would like to do? Biggest of three numbers I would like to find out. So enter a value is equal to convert dot 2 in 32 of console dot readline. Likewise, I would like to accept three values: int a, int b, and c. Okay. After that, if a is greater than b and a is greater than c, a is biggest, right? So I can say this way, biggest. comma A. Similarly, if B is greater than A and B is greater than C, B is biggest. And if C is greater than A, any doubts during the session, please you can raise your like questions, not a problem. C is greater than B. C. Fine. A is biggest, B is biggest, and C is biggest based on these conditions. Fine. Shall we run and see? Number. Enter a value. I am entering a value 9. I am entering a value 12. And I am entering a value 5. Which is the biggest? 12 is the biggest. Right? So this way we can find biggest of 3 numbers using only if. I would like to find out biggest of 2 numbers using if else. Shall we do that? Let's go add class. If else demo MC. Class name. Let's take the static void main. I'm asking the user to enter a value. Int a is equal to convert dot to insert of concept of reclaim. Next, if a is greater than b, if you have single statement, you need not like use open and close braces for if statement. So I'm saying here, comma a. Else if b is greater than a, comma b, else both are equal. Right? What I have done? Console.writeLine. I am asking the user to enter a value. The entered value is captured into a variable a. Then again I am asking the user to enter b value, and entered value has been captured into b. Then I am finding out whether a is greater than b or b is greater than r or equal this. Right? So whenever you are trying to run now, you will get an error. What is the error? Multiple main methods. See, program.main if else demo.main. Right? You have multiple main methods, and it is ambiguous for the compiler which main has to be considered during the execution. Okay, so we need to explicitly mention, please consider this particular main during the compilation. So let us do that. How to mention? Go to properties, select if else demo. Okay, because I want to run if else demo class. Now run. I am entering the value 9 and 9. Can you see? Both are equal. Let's go for the next. So we have done with the if and if else. If you have more than three conditions to be verified, so if you have more than three conditions to be verified, it is preferable to go for switch case. So shall we go for the switch case? Project, add class, switch demo. Static void main. I'm asking the user to enter the choice. Enter your choice. And I'm capturing the choice into the variable ch. Convert dot to int 32 of console of review. Fine. After capturing the choice, I would like to pass it to the switch case. So switch case, switch off ch. Case 1. Case 1 selected. Right. So I would like to have more cases. Let's copy this case and paste it. 5 cases I've taken out. Case 1, case 2. I'll explain you the complete program again. Need not worry. Finally, default case. Invalid choice. Enter 1 to 5. Okay. Look at the program once again. Let's go there. Your execution starts from static void main. Getting? So whenever you run the program, when you run the program, it will ask for you to enter the choice. After entering the choice, it will be captured into ch variable, and this choice will be passed to the switch case. For example, if user is entering choice 2, immediately the switch case will invoke the case 2. So likewise, you have different cases. Every case will have a break. Okay, as per the syntactical specifications, you'll be having every case will be having a break statement, and also you'll be having a default statement, default case, where if a user is not entering in between 1 to 5, so it can be a default case which will be executed. Let's run and see. Visualize the output. Go to the properties, and now I want to run the switch demo. So go there, switch demo. Now I'm running. Enter your choice. I'm entering the choice 4. Case 4 selected, right? If I'm running and I'm entering some case 8, do I have case 8? No. So invalid choice. Enter 1 to 5. So this way we can work with the switch case. Any doubts till here? Hiren and Sandeep. Shall I go ahead?
Yeah,
Let's go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, please keep giving your support whether to go forward or want me to explain. Please keep responding in between if possible. Okay, I'm going for while demo. See, while is a looping construct. We call while as preconditional looping construct. Preconditional. Why we call it as preconditional loop? Unless and until the condition is verified, it will not go for the execution. Okay, and every looping construct will have initialization in t is equal to 1. This is called as initialization. While I less than or equal to 10 is a condition, and console.write instead of write line I am writing write. What is the difference between write line and write? A write line will write whole, even a single character whole line, whereas write will occupy only the specified area. So I'm saying write I plus double quotes and some spacing, so that see then I plus plus is a increment. Here is the initialization, is condition checking and increment. Whenever you're printing, it will print the whole intention behind this logic is to print 1 to 10. So I is 1, I less than or equal to 10, I will be printed. So it will print I 1 and it will increment, then print 2, 3, likewise 1 to 10 it will print. So 1 some space, 2 some space in the output you will be getting. So let us now go and run the while demo. Can you see 1 to 10 is getting printed? 5. Let's go for do while project, add class, do while demo. Okay, coming to the do while demo, I'm saying char ch do. See, if you say do double tap, the code snippet related to do while will be automatically generated. Getting? So I'm saying here console.write line. Do you want to continue? Do you want to continue? Yes or no? And I'm saying ch is equal to convert dot to char I'm saying because it's a character type, so to char I'm saying console dot read line. Then ch is equal to 1. Right? Char ch, then do while. We do while is called as post conditional loop. call as post conditional loop. Why we call it as post conditional loop? Because at least once the do while gets executed. After executing do part, then only the condition checking will happen. Now I would like to run this demo. So, do you want to continue? I'm saying yes. If you say yes, the condition is true and you keep on getting executed. If I'm saying no or something else, as the character is not while, you'll end with the executing the loop, right? So this way we can work with the while, do while. Shall we go for the next for loop? Static void main. For int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus. Console dot write off I plus. Even for is also a loopy construct, but here this looping construct will have the initialization, condition checking as well as increment or decrement in the same line. Whereas for while you are having the initialization, condition checking and increment or decrement at three different locations. But coming to for, we have all together in one line. So I would like to print 1 to 10 using for loop. Let us do that. Properties. For demo. Can you see this? 1 to 10. So let's go for slight changes in the code in for loop. I'm saying if I is equal to 7, I can say continue output. Say anybody can expect this output. If I is equal to 7, I'm saying continue. Anybody can expect the output. Okay. I'm running except 7. All other elements are printed. So what's happening here? Whenever I is equal to 7 is encountered, whenever I is equal to 7 is encountered, continue statement is executed. What does continue do? It will skip the remaining lines of code and goes to the looping construct again. That's the importance of continue. I would like to say now break. Let's run and see what's happening. See, whenever I give break, immediately when the break is encountered, the loop is broken. The loop is broken. So hope you understood this. All the constructs have you understood? Do you want me to take up a yes please?
Yes.
Do you want me to take up a demo which includes all these constructs, or do you want me to give you as an assignment?
Assignment is fine.
That's right. So I would like to give you an assignment now. Please listen carefully.
Okay.
Write a program to accept a number from the user and display the below menu. This meaning. 1. Even or odd. Natural numbers. Multiplication table. Fourth one, exit. And finally, you will be asking the user to enter your choice. Okay. Please try to understand once again. What I'm trying to do, I want the I want you to accept a number from the user. So for example, let us say user is entering some 8. 8 is captured into a variable, let us say n. After capturing n into value into n variable, I would like to display this particular menu. And if user is entering choice 1, so let us say 9 is entered by the user, 9 is captured into n. Then if the user is entering choice 1, 9 is odd has to be displayed. If user is entering 2, 1 to 9 has to be generated and displayed to the user. If user is entering choice as 3, 9 ones are 9, 9 twos are 18, 9 threes are 27. Likewise, 9 tens are 90 has to be displayed. Finally, if user presses other than 1, 2, 3, 4, it has to say invalid choice, enter 1 to 4. And if user enters 4, the program has to exit. Getting? Please try to perform the demo assignment and submit it to me on my email. Is that fine?
Yes.
Any doubts in, this, in the demo, in the assignment?
Actually, if user enters one, 2, or 3, we have to show like invalid choice or
No,
enter
no,
your
no.
choice again.
I didn't get you.
If user enters 1, 2, or 3, if user enters 1, we have to show again enter your choice.
No, no. If user enters 1, you have to find
Hmm.
out whether 9 is even or odd.
Okay.
If user enters 2, you have to find out natural numbers for 9, 1 to 9.
Oh, that's it then. Right.
Yes. If user enters 3,
Okay.
you have to find out multiplication table like 9 ones are 9, 9 twos are 18, likewise. 9 tens are 90.
Okay.
That's my intention.
Okay.
And if user enters 4, the program has to exit.
Okay.
Hiren, Hiren,
Okay, okay.
is that fine? Shall we go ahead?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So let's discuss the arrays part. We are ready to discuss for demo, for each, right? So in order to discuss for each, we have to discuss arrays. What is an array? Anybody can define?
Collection of
Yes,
something like numbers.
collection of similar data types. It is a collection of similar data types. You can have single dimensional array, multi-dimensional, and jagged array. Single dimensional, multi-dimensional, jagged array. You can have three arrays. So how to mention a single dimensional array? Simple. If I want to take an integer array A is equal to new integer array, and here I have to mention size. A is capable of A is capable of holding 5 number of elements inside it. Okay, A is a array of type integer which is capable of holding 5 number of elements inside it. Now shall we do a simple demo on arrays? File, new project, arrays demo. Fine. Here I am taking an integer array. A is equal to new integer array. Let's say 5. Okay. And a of 0. Your array index starts from 0. Please remember. Array index always starts from 0 and ends at size minus 1. And I am giving a of 0 is equal to 40. A of 1 is equal to 20. A of 2 is equal to 50. A of 3 is equal to 10. A of 4 is equal to 30. Right? After that, for int I is equal to, I would like to print these values. Okay. So I would like to say printing array elements. For int I is equal to 0, I less than, see I can say I less than 5, but if I am changing the size of an array, again I have to change in the for loop. So to avoid that dependency, I would like to say directly a dot length. Length is the property of an array which gives you size of an array. Then I plus plus. Later console dot write of a of I plus some spacing. What does it happen? Say here, if I is equal to 0, a of 0 will be printed. If I is equal to 1, a of 1 will be printed. Likewise, till the size of the array, a of 4 will be printed. Let's run and see whether the elements are getting printed or not. Can you see? Array elements are getting printed. Is that fine? So I would like to print the same array elements in the sorted order. Actually, it's printing in the original order, right? I want them to be sorted. So in order to sort the elements of an array, I would like to call the method sort. Printing sorted elements. So array dot sort is a method of an array class which takes array as an input and sorts the elements available in the array in the ascending order. Then I would like to say for, using for each loop I would like to print this type. Okay. For each int I in a, I plus, see for every iteration it will fetch an array element from the array and place into I. So initially it will fetch 0th index element and place into I, then that 0th index element will be printed. Later first index element will be fetched and placed into I, then first index element will be printed. Likewise till the end of the array, till the last element of the array it will fetch and place into I, and all the elements will be printed. So let's run using for each loop also. Now can you see the sorted order of an array? This is the sorted order, this is the actual order. Fine. I would like to print the elements now in the reverse order. console right line, printing elements in reverse. Fine. Array dot reverse is a method which will take an array as an input and reverses the elements. For each int I in A, I plus. Fine. Let's run now. See, you can see the actual order of the elements, the sorted order of the elements, and the reverse order of the elements. Fine. So this way we can work with the array. Any doubts still here? So finally we will discuss how to accept the array elements from the user interface. Then stop the session here. Is that fine? Let's take
Yes.
another class. I'm adding a class.
Yeah.
I want the user to input the array elements. So in order to get the input from the user interface for the array elements, first we need to decide the size of an array. So I'm asking the user to enter the size. Even the size will be finalized by the user. So enter the size of an array. And int n is equal to convert dot to int of console dot readline. That's the size, right? Then I'm taking an integer array. A is equal to new integer array. Array of 5. No, sorry. Here I am saying n. It means if user will inputs this 10 as the size of an array, I need to input 10 elements. That's the intention, right? So for that reason, I would like to take a for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length I plus this. I want to ask the user to enter a value. See this way. A at the top, I'm saying enter array elements. Yeah, A of comma. So it will ask, for example, I is equal to 0, it will ask for A of 0th element. And I'll be entering the value. The entered value has to be captured. Where it has to capture? A of I. If I is equal to 0, A of 0. If I is equal to 1, A of 1. Likewise, it will keep on capturing. After capturing, I would like to display these elements. Printing array elements. How to print? Using for each loop. For each int ina console dot write of I. Fine. So let us run it. What I have done, I am asking the user to enter the size of an array. The size is captured into variable n. For example, user is entering 5. 5 is captured into variable n. Now array is initialized with the size 5, and I am asking the user to enter the array elements using this iteration. So this loop will iterate for 5 times, and for the first time it will ask a of 0, and you will be entering some 10, let us say 10 will be captured at a of 0, and for the second iteration it will ask for a of 1. You will enter 20, the 20 will be captured at a of 1. Likewise, all the elements will be accepted into the array. Later, using for each, you can print the elements. This is not new for you. I'm running class 1. Let's run. Enter the size of an array. I'm entering 6. It is asking for a of 0 element. I'm entering 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All 6 elements I have entered. Then if I press enter, all the elements are getting displayed to me, right? So this way we can work with the arrays. Shall we stop the session here?